Of course, this is a clearly unconstitutional bill.
That's not what the Constitution actually says.
This has always been a state issue.
That's not really true either.
Democrat legislation only helps themselves.
I think it's a really embarrassing thing to say. I mean, it suggests, I'm not saying it, but the people who are effectively saying our values, our beliefs, our platform and policies are so unpopular that if the American people actually are allowed to vote, we won't win. And therefore, we have to make it really hard for the majority of Americans to vote in order to stay in power or get back to power.
You know what H.R. 1 is? It's a disaster.
First, that it's unconstitutional.
As much as anything else, it's wildly unconstitutional.
That by the Constitution, elections belong to the state.
This takes all sorts of decisions that the federal government really has no business making.
Now, there's a problem with that, of course, which is that's not what the Constitution actually says. To start with, the original Constitution says that the states shall run elections, except that Congress may intervene, and Congress may decide to determine the time, place, or manner of elections for federal office. And that leads to the second objection to the bill, which is, well, aside from constitutional questions, the tradition in America is that elections are run locally.
This has always been a state issue.
This would be a federal usurpation of state sovereignty.
It's a federal takeover elections.
It would be wrong.
That's wrong. That's really wrong.
And the reality is that's not really true either, because throughout our history, Congress has stepped in when necessary. Congress has set the date for federal elections, those sorts of things for a long time. But Congress has also, through the civil rights era, stepped in and told states there are certain things they cannot do, like charge taxes to vote or require a literacy test to vote. And it has told the states there's some things they must do. So there are a range of instances in which Congress has historically stepped in, and that has always been to ensure some level of state uniformity, plus some needed provisions to make certain that people have access to voting, that citizens are not finding it unduly difficult.
They are trying to destroy conservatives in the Republican Party completely.
I think these rules are nonpartisan. They are designed to make it possible for working Americans in particular to vote, people who may not find it convenient or easy to get to the polls on a Tuesday, a work day. So this idea that somehow making it easier for all Americans to vote is anti-Republican is, I think, a very bad talking point. But also factually, it looks to me as if it's wrong. Hope when it's passed, we will be out there working to defend it in court and make the arguments we've made here that it is constitutional and should go into effect. Thanks very much.